booed. Who would have thought the royal fairy tale would crumble this hard? Once upon a time, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, were adored, admired, and welcomed with open arms in countries around the world. But now, Canada just slams the door in their faces loud and clear with a message that couldn't sting more. No security for you here. Yes, you heard that right. The same Canada that once gave the royal couple refuge after their dramatic royal exit has now decided enough is enough. No royal privileges, no special treatment, and certainly no taxpayer-funded security. According to reports swirling inside Canadian law enforcement circles, the discussion wasn't even up for debate this time. The verdict was simple. Canadian taxpayers will not pay for the protection of a couple who walked away from royal duties but still expect royal treatment. And honestly, the public isn't shy about it either. Across Canada, the mood is turning cold. What was once warmth and sympathy for a couple breaking free from royal tradition has now turned into frustration, even anger. To many Canadians, Harry and Meghan have become the face of entitlement and ungratefulness, royals who wanted all the perks but none of the responsibilities. It's almost poetic how ironic this all is. Remember when they first fled to Canada after stepping down from their royal roles? Back then, it was all about giving them peace and privacy. Canadian authorities went out of their way to ensure their safety out of sheer respect for Queen Elizabeth and goodwill. But that goodwill has run dry. After years of interviews, Netflix specials, tell-all documentaries, and non-stop criticism of the monarchy, many Canadians now feel used, even betrayed. People are openly asking, why should we pay for two millionaires who trashed the institution that once gave them everything? Public sentiment has completely flipped. Sympathy has vanished. What was once a sweet story of independence has turned into a saga of self-inflicted drama. Canadians still remember the huge costs from that first stay on Vancouver Island, the media circus, the debates, the headlines, and now they're saying never again. For Harry and Meghan, the timing couldn't be worse. Their reputation has already taken a beating both in the UK and overseas. What began as a glamorous escape from royal tradition has turned into a PR nightmare. From the backlash over their Netflix deals to failed business ventures and even rumors of tension in their marriage, everything seems to be falling apart. And now, this rejection from Canada, it's just another bruise on their already battered brand. Losing the British establishment's support was one thing, but being turned away by a country that once adored them? That's humiliation on a whole new level. It's like the world is finally saying, we've had enough. Harry once believed that his royal title could open any door, but the illusion is crumbling fast. The world has moved on, and patience for royal drama has run out. It's honestly wild how the entire narrative has flipped. When they first landed in Canada, the world saw them as brave victims escaping a cold, restrictive monarchy. People admired them for choosing love and freedom over duty and protocol. But now, that sympathy has evaporated faster than ever. Today, Harry and Meghan are seen as Hollywood celebrities desperate for relevance, constantly talking about the very fame they claim to hate. Canadian media has become ruthless too. Editorials are blunt, headlines cut deep, and the tone across news outlets is unanimous. You made your choice. Now live with it. Behind all the polite political language, the message is brutal. Canada will not be your backup plan. And this isn't just about money or logistics, it's symbolic. Canada's rejection shows how much global perception has shifted. Governments, media, and the public are all viewing Harry and Meghan differently now. When you alienate powerful institutions and turn your back on countries that once embraced you, it eventually catches up. Harry's big dream of freedom has ironically left him trapped, stranded between two worlds. He doesn't have the respect of the royal establishment, but he also doesn't have full acceptance in Hollywood or the public sphere. According to insiders, Harry quietly floated the idea of returning to Canada for a while to escape the media glare of California. But the moment the topic of security arrangements came up, the answer from officials was swift and final. No exceptions. No special treatment. Canadian authorities made it clear they don't protect private citizens, even if those citizens happen to be ex-royals. And the public, they're cheering that decision on. Social media across Canada exploded with reactions. Comments ranged from mocking to downright furious. One viral post summed it up perfectly. You left the family. You left the privilege. So stop expecting the perks. The truth is undeniable. The global charm of Harry and Meghan is fading. Their criticism of the royal family has alienated traditional royal fans, while their Hollywood ventures haven't exactly made them beloved celebrities either. Their once modern, compassionate image now feels overexposed, dramatic, and to many, exhausting. For Canada, this wasn't about being harsh. It was about setting boundaries. The government simply doesn't want to be dragged back into another royal soap opera. The last time they were here, the whole country was consumed by debates over who should foot the bill for their protection. Politicians were grilled, newspapers went wild, and taxpayers weren't happy. This time, Canada made sure that headache doesn't return. For Harry, though, this feels personal. Canada wasn't just another country, it was his escape hatch. The safe space he thought he could rely on after the chaos of royal life. It's where he thought he could breathe again, rebuild his identity, and live away from the noise. But that dream has now vanished. To many, he's no longer the kind prince who followed his heart, but a privileged man constantly complaining about a life millions would trade places for. And Meghan, this must sting even deeper for her. Canada was once her second home. It's where she built her career before becoming a duchess, where she worked on Suits, and where her fan base adored her as a local success story. But now, that same country has turned its back. Tired of the endless drama, the speeches, and the perception of entitlement, even her old home away from home wants distance. The fairy tale is officially over. The global fascination that once surrounded them has turned sour. The sparkle has dimmed. Headlines that once praised them now mock them. The sympathy that once fueled their rise has disappeared. Everywhere they go, Hollywood, London, and now Canada, the reception gets colder. What's left is a couple struggling to find where they truly belong. Their once mighty Sussex brand has turned into a reminder of how quickly fame fades when controversy overshadows sincerity. And now, it's not just about losing security, it's about losing respect. Losing credibility, losing the world's patience. Canada's no is symbolic, it's the world's way of saying enough is enough. Even in the US, the country they believed would embrace them completely, the tide is shifting. Recently, during a public event in America, something happened that shook them to their core. They were booed. Yes, booed loudly, unmistakably, and brutally. Witnesses described the scene vividly. Meghan almost broke down her eyes, welled up, her smile faltered for a split second before she forced it back into place. Harry stood next to her, trying to act calm, but everyone could see it. The discomfort, the humiliation, the shock. The crowd's reaction wasn't just about that single moment. It was the result of years of overexposure and public fatigue. America, once their promised land of freedom and sympathy, is now starting to show signs of skepticism. In the early days, Americans were curious, even supportive. They admired the royal rebels who stood up against tradition. But as time went on, the endless interviews, the constant woe is us narrative, and the nonstop criticism of the monarchy began to grate on people's nerves. The public began asking, if you wanted privacy, why are you always in front of cameras? The booing in America wasn't random, it was a reflection of how their story has worn thin. From lawsuits to brand deals to carefully staged appearances, it's all starting to feel forced. People are no longer buying into the image of the oppressed royals. They see two celebrities constantly seeking sympathy while living a life of luxury. And that's the harsh truth of celebrity culture. Once the public turns, it's almost impossible to win them back. For Meghan, who thought she understood American fame inside out, this must feel like betrayal. She built her career in Hollywood. She knows how fame works. But this time, she's discovering that goodwill doesn't last forever. The near breakdown moment captured that realization that celebrity and royal titles don't guarantee love or respect. Harry, too, is realizing that his attempts to reinvent himself outside the monarchy are backfiring. The world sees him less as a relatable prince and more as someone unwilling to take responsibility for his choices. Every time they speak, every time they appear in public, the skepticism grows louder. It's not hard to see why. Their public image is carefully curated, every interview rehearsed, every appearance staged. But live audiences can't be controlled. The boos echo louder than any PR campaign can. Drown out. What happened in America was a reality check. A reminder that no matter how polished their image, the public decides who they admire, not the other way around. Social media erupted afterward. Clips of the moment went viral. Comments flooded in, some mocking, some sympathetic, but most brutally honest. The world is tired of the royal victims narrative. They want accountability, not excuses. And this isn't an isolated incident. From Canada's cold rejection to whispers of Hollywood doors quietly closing, the pattern is clear, their influence is shrinking. The once unbreakable Sussex brand is cracking under pressure. Critics say this is the cost of walking away from the royal machine while still expecting royal privilege. The protection, the admiration, the applause, those aren't guaranteed once you quit the system that provides them. For Meghan and Harry, this is a crossroads moment. But boos in America weren't just background noise, they were a bad message. The world's patience is thinning. The applause that once followed them has been replaced with doubt, fatigue, and even hostility. What was supposed to be freedom has turned into exposure. What was meant to be independence has become isolation. The dream of a global royal power couple has faded into the reality of public scrutiny. And as Canada shuts its doors and America starts to lose interest, one truth becomes crystal clear: the red carpets are rolling back, the sympathy is gone, and the world has finally moved on. The Sussex story, once sold as a modern love revolution, now reads more like a cautionary tale. Because in the end, fame fades, privilege runs out, and public goodwill has limits. And for Harry and Meghan, those limits have just been